personnel wise, boys, like they have a good enough team to win the Stanley Cup. No, just nobody trusts that those core 4 guys can get it done.
We do have to talk about your goddamn beloved Toronto Maple Leafs.
Okay, sure, yeah.
All right, I will start the conversation like this. You have a good sense of humor. You have to admit it would be fucking hilarious. Like, it would be the funniest possible outcome if the Leafs lost in 7 here.
I'd probably delete my apps for about 3-4 days if that happened. That's probably the result of the Leafs blowing a 3-0 series lead. I don't think it's going to happen. I think they're going to win Game 5. I think that my arsehole will be puckered up about this tight if it even goes to 6. Because you probably feel the seed of doubt creep in a little bit, but I just feel like I actually feel like we haven't seen Toronto's best other than really in Game 1. I felt like that's where they were really clicking. Power play looked good. Contributions from the back end, which have been a very big bright spot for the Leafs so far in this series. But Ottawa's fought hard. Like games 2 and 3, like I felt for the first 40 minutes, they kind of control play. So they got to get off and get a full 60 in, like, and also to prove to themselves that they can do it. Because my issue with the Leafs a little bit is sometimes they'll go like these 7-8 minute stretches where you're like, hey, you need like that. Okay, 2 bad shifts in a row. That third line needs to kill it and then get the momentum back and then go back at it. Where I feel like the good teams, like the teams like the Dallases, the Colorados, the Floridas, they don't allow those lapses to happen as long as the Leafs do, and especially against a team like Ottawa. So, credit to Ottawa. They got some good young studs, but ultimately the Leafs got to figure it out at home tonight, get themselves some rest, because if they do play Florida next round, not only is everything going to have to go right, they're going to have to get to a level that they've never gotten to as far as compete. So let's just focus on Ottawa tonight, though. I don't think Allmark has necessarily been at his best. I'm a little concerned with him stealing one. But Stolar is awesome. Like, I don't really have many gripes with the Leafs lineup right now. There's not like any guys I could really pick on. I do wish that, like, looking back, they did a better job of establishing a better bottom 6 in a sense of like big, heavier players that make more of an impact and can like help wear teams down. I felt like I'm not trying to criticize Dubas too much, but I felt like during that era, they didn't really draft like to fit those needs necessarily per se, right? Like, I do like guys in the bottom 6, but there were maybe a few other guys I'd like to have there making an impact. Like for instance, I look at like Minnesota's 4th line, and I know Rossi's probably a little bit like he should be a little higher in the lineup. It just so happens he's on that 4th. But like a guy like Trennan and a guy like Brazeau, like those guys forecheck like madmen. They're big bodies. They're physical. Like, I'd like a little bit more of that from our 3rd and 4th line right now. So McMahon's been quiet. Have you found that? Like, he's played okay, but he's been a little too quiet for me. So I hope he has a big game too in Game 5.
I mean, speaking of wearing guys down, is there any concern in your mind about the shot blocking for the Leafs? Because they are just eating shots. And we said this on one of our overtime streams. Like, I do wonder, like, if the longer this series goes and, like, Ottawa's just been absolutely pelting Leafs players the entire series.
Do they take one of them out?
At some point, does that kind of slow the Leafs down?
No, because like typically teams that go deep do that. Like Vegas was like a notorious shot blocking team. Like you would have Martinez, McNabb, like Petro, White, like all those guys would just eat pucks, right? So you get a lot of bumps and bruises, but the guys who do it for Toronto are also used to it. Like Oliver Ekman-Larsson, I wouldn't say it was in his bag before he got to Florida, but he did that with Florida. Like he was solid enough doing that. Chris Tanev obviously is doing that. He's probably like the lead league in block shots. Like, he's basically a goalie, right? Like, so no, I don't. That is not something that concerns me. No.
Does this year feel different to you? And I know that's I shouldn't ask a Leafs fan that, because they'll always say like, oh yeah, this year feels different. But all year, maybe it's because the East is so wide open, but also because like I love the Carlo addition. He's looking a little more like 2019 Carlo than he's looked the last couple of years in Boston. I like the goaltending for Toronto. Like this has been the easiest year to make sense of the Leafs making a run. And I agree with you that if they run into trouble, it's not going to be in this round. It might be against Florida, but how much of your confidence is you love this fucking team and how much of it is it kind of makes sense this year?
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. Like I view that like their toughest round would be round 2 against Florida because like to me they could beat Washington, they could beat Carolina. Like
I agree.
I would probably I would have them over both those teams. Like obviously if like you held a gun to my head and you said who would you take, Florida or Toronto, I would say like the better team, maybe paper wise, experience wise, proven goaltending wise. Would be edge to Florida, but you just mentioned it. Like they have good enough goaltending to win a Stanley Cup. Like the numbers are the numbers from regular season. He's looked good enough in playoffs so far that he could lead them to a Stanley Cup. The back end's big. Like they, they're not like the most electrifying. Like they don't have a Cale Makar, but for some reason they've stepped it up offensively. So they're getting offense from Morgan Rielly. They're getting it from Oliver Ekman-Larsson. And they have those big body shutdown defensemen. And then up front, man, like they're top 6. Like JT's playing great, man. Like he's probably been their best consistent forward. He wins his battles. He looks a little bit faster even than last year. Like he looks like he has his jump. And so it would just be a matter of that bottom 6, like pulling them over the top. So personnel wise, boys, like they have a good enough team to win the Stanley Cup. Just nobody trusts that those core 4 guys can get it done. One thing that does like piss me off sometimes though is like I love Willie. Like I think like his laid back demeanor is amazing. Just like he missed that one breakaway the one game and like he's smiling, but then like in the next period, they're up by a goal and they're what was it? I think there was like it was 4-on-4 and Toronto had or Ottawa had their guy coming out of the box, right? So he obviously from a like knowing the clock perspective, like you have to have clock time management. You have to know that. He had it in the ozone and he like fumbled it and lost it and then he trips the guy. So then all of a sudden like Ottawa's gets the 5-on-3 and then they score on it where I'm like those are the things where it's like, buddy, you got the 1-goal lead. You have the puck in the offensive zone. Don't fuck around with it. Understand clock management. This is playoffs. Fuck off with the tomfoolery. When I was playing with my coach, Mike Stothers, if that would have happened, he would have had the video up between periods with the laser pointer being like, what the fuck is this? Like, what are you doing? Like, fuck you. Like, this is bullshit. Because it is. And like, when you're making $11 million, you shouldn't be making mistakes like that. Like, those are things and kinks that you work out in the regular season. So does he make up enough for it offensively? Like, that's pass over to Oliver Ekman-Larsson? Absolutely. But if the Leafs want to win a Stanley Cup, they're going to have to not only get those plays being made by those guys, but they're going to have to dial it in mentally because the teams like Florida, they'll fucking eat you alive when you make mistakes like that. Dallas, they'll eat you alive when you make mistakes like that. Same thing with Colorado. So luckily the teams in the West are beating the shit out of each other, and Toronto's hump would definitely be just getting over Florida.
We all silly like the mayor.